Okay, here we are with another Blue-Red Faeries matchup. This time we're playing against the Birthing Pod deck. Kiki Pod, I believe it is. We lost the roll here, unfortunately. Sarah Opener, Double Scion, Grim Lavamancer, Pillar of Flame, Magma Jet, Island, and a Mountain. So, not the most exciting, but not too bad. Actually a pretty decent hand against the Birthing Pod deck. Particularly the Pillar of Flame could be good. So opponent leads off with Stomach Ground into a Hierarch. Lead off with Mountain, Pillar of Flame. Kind of want to get rid of his accelerators. So I didn't know what he was accelerating into at the time, but generally it's a good idea to get rid of these types of things. I'm using Magma Jet to kill off the Bop. Maybe I should have just run out the Grim Lavamancer and started using that, but yeah, I feel like I maybe lost a little bit of value out of the Grim Lavamancer by not playing it on turn 1, but I think our play was fairly reasonable. An attack here. Opponent has a Birthing Pod, which we couldn't do anything about. That is quite annoying. Also follows up with a Red Cap, which is going to kill our Lavamancer, which is very unfortunate. We'll be able to run out of Scion though, potentially into another Scion, which gives us a bit of an attacking threat. So I think combo here, but for some reason he doesn't do anything with his Birthing Pod, and I don't really know why. I'm fairly sure there's a combo win here. Pod into Conscripts, untap Pod, and then Pod Red Cap into Kiki would be a combo win. He might have his only Xalis Conscripts in hand, I suppose, but then he could have cast it and then used the Birthing Pod. Yeah, so I don't really know. It's a bit of a strange matchup in that my opponent didn't seem to always take full advantage of the opportunities that were available. I'm fairly sure I should have just died there. So, actually considering that, maybe I should have burst the Red Cap. But if my opponent doesn't want to do anything, then happily let that happen. Opponent plays a Linvala. I cast Mana Leak, not because it's going to counter it, but just to tap him down, and it looks okay. Out okay. Or I suppose I could have burst the Kiki if he did try and go for the combo. So maybe that's what he was playing around, potentially. Jump off a Red Cap here, then to 1/1. So yeah, I suppose he could have been playing around burn spells, which I do have. I'm going to go for a Phantasmal Image, which I'm going to spell snare. He's only going to play out a Kiki. I could have killed it there. Maybe should have killed it there. I think obviously my concern, although I'm not entirely sure what my opponent's doing, my concern is obviously that he can combo off, and I kind of wanted to keep my burn spells up just in case he goes for a combo. But I probably should just killed the Kiki earlier, as it just ends up making me take a load of damage from these Red Caps, which is frustrating, to be honest. Took more damage than I needed to do. It cost me. I was really close to winning, actually. That's the thing with the burst. He's on 10, so I could attack 5 with his, well, probably 4 actually, if he blocked the spell stats right, although he's probably likely to block one of the Scions if I attacked with all my guys in the air. So that would be plus the burst lightning, 8, and then he's got 2 or 1 life depending on where he blocks. So I was very close to winning, and maybe I should have taken the more aggressive route, but I don't know, it's kind of relying on top decking a burn spell as things go on, so maybe it would have been better to try and take the more aggressive route. At least I'd have probably had slightly more outs that way, although I don't think I would have won. Oh, actually, snap. Yeah, maybe I should have gone on the aggressive, attacked in the air, used the burst lightning to put him down to 1, and then that snapcaster would have probably been lethal. So probably missed a trick there in being a little bit too conservative, but unfortunately we ended up losing there. So let's go on to game 2. Just a second. Okay, so here we are with our opener. I smashed the smithereens, brought it into the sideboard. Obviously doesn't have a lot of artifacts, but I don't have many ways to deal with Birthing Pod, so brought that in. Magma Spray is another card from the sideboard, which is really nice use against Finks or Red Cap, or even like Kiki Jiki, etc., or just the general accelerants. Just a pretty good card to have around. Exiling them is just an added bonus, really. And then we've got Electrolyze, Spellstutter Sprite, lands. So fairly decent hand, I think. Not the most aggressive, but decent. He plays a Bop. I'm going to use Magma Spray on that. Might regret it if he ends up dropping a Finks on turn 3 or whatever, but I think it's worth getting rid of his accelerants where possible. Can't really do much about this wall of roots though. He's just going to get in a Birthing Pod. Fortunately we do have the Smash to Smithereens. I could have countered it as well with the Is It Charm. That was an alternative play that I could have made, but Smash to Smithereens doesn't really have much use beyond blowing up Birthing Pods. So I figured I'm better off using that. Is It Charm could be used elsewhere. It's a little bit more versatile generally. It plays out a Hierarch, but we're going to counter that with our Spellstutter Sprite. And then he plays out a Bop, which I use a Spellstutter Sprite on also. I probably should have just let them go and use my Electrolyze, like if he's going to drop 2 mana accelerants with 0/1s, then I could have got a lot of value out of using this Electrolyze rather than dropping my Spellstutter Sprites, which could potentially have countered something a little bit more heavy duty. Obviously I didn't know that he was going to play 2 in a row, so there's that, but maybe should have killed at least one of them with Electrolyze rather than using up valuable Spellstutter Sprites. But this does mean that I get a bit more power on the board, put a little bit more pressure on my opponent, which is a good thing. So I'm going to be able to knock him down to 13 here, run out this Grim Lavamancer, and then pass. Opponent's a little bit mana screwed, which is good for us. Move the Is It Charm, this Dom Rad, or Raid, or however you say that. And then attack again, down to 11, goes down to 9, trying to cast a Birthing Pod. I'm going to Electrolyze to get rid of the Wall of Roots. Just getting rid of their creatures when they have a Birthing Pod is generally a good idea. Birthing Pod's very powerful, but they do need to have creatures on the board to be able to actually do anything with it. So got rid of the Wall of Roots. And then hit him for 2 with the Grim Lavamancer on the end. It's knocking down to 5 here. So got a Spellstutter Sprite to counter the Bop, and that wraps it up pretty nicely. Yeah, he got a bit mana screwed, and we managed to be aggressive enough and deal with the threats that he ended up putting out. So yeah, that went pretty well. We'll go on to 3. So here's our opening hand. It's not great. I don't know. Move Volt's nice, Spellstutter Sprite's good, Is It Charm's pretty nice. But he is on the play, and as it turns out he gets off to a pretty quick start, and unfortunately we aren't able to counter his turn 2 Birthing Pod. So maybe we should have looked for a hand with removal for his early accelerants. This hand would have been pretty good if we'd had enough mana in time for to counter the old Birthing Pod, but unfortunately we did not. So he plays Wall of Roots, uses Birthing Pod to get a Kitchen Finks. Fortunately we drew a Magma Spray, which is a nice answer to that Finks. I think I'm going to Is It Charm away his Boff now. Again, just trying to get rid of all his creatures. So his Birthing Pod is less powerful. Chance to play out Pride Mage. I'm going to use my Spell Snare to get rid of that. Yeah, again, just trying to keep the board clear as much as possible. Dropping back with Mutavault here. Pun doesn't seem to have much going on, though we are a bit worried about Restoration Angel. I'm going to attack with my Mutavault. He ends up having the Restoration Angel, which is quite annoying. We do have a burst though that can potentially get rid of it. There's that Hierarch, which I actually missed the opportunity to use the spell stutter there, so yeah, I should have spell stuttered that. Ends up giving him a Voice of Resurgence, which is fairly significant. Yeah, definitely a missed trick there. Watch me draw a pillar, so that we're going to be able to deal with the voice with the pillar, and we can also get in for 2 with our Mutavault. We're going to be able to Restoration Angel, and we do need to deal with that hopefully soon. He uses his Eternal Witness to get a Misty Rainforest. Not entirely sure why. Maybe looking for triple red, I guess. I don't know. If I was him, I would have probably got a creature back to pot up something extra, but don't quite know what he had in his hand or what have you. So I used Electrolyze that I drew. I've got Electrolyze and a Lightning Bolt, so I'm going to Electrolyze to kill the Witness, and then deal 1 damage to the Restoration Angel, and then Bolt the Angel. So we managed to wipe his board. Do need to find a way to start putting some pressure on him, but that's good for now, with only 1 card in his hand as well. That's a fairly decent situation to be in. He plays out with Archmage, which isn't ideal for us. I draw a Click, which I'm going to play on his draw step. I think his card, he has land and he has Cord, so he plays out the Cord. I'm going to try and negate it, but he uses his Archmage to counter the negate, so he's going to be able to cord up a Voice of Resurgence. Without Grim Lavamancer, I actually passed the turn, but what I should have done is use this Burst Lightning to kill off the Glenelender Archmage. As it turns out, he uses his Township to put a +1 counter on all his creatures. I then realised that I really want to get rid of the Archmage, which I probably should have done on my own turn, because this way he ends up benefiting, getting a token off his Voice, and puts me in a slightly more dangerous situation. So yeah, I think I should have killed the Archmage on my own turn. Still in a decent shape though. We're going to be able to attack for 3 here. We can also activate our Grim Lavamancer, so we can deal 5 a turn. Also got Spell Stutter Sprite, which we're going to use. Wall of Roots. Oh yeah, I kept forgetting that this Voice punishes you for playing spells on your opponent's turn. So yeah, missed the trick there kind of. But I think it doesn't really matter all that much, because we should be able to win next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we've got lethal for next turn. So it shouldn't really be all that significant. But it wasn't the best of plays, I suppose. So yeah, he attacks with just 1 of his elementals and pumps, which made a lot easier decision. I'm not quite sure why he decided to hold 2 back. It's supposed to prevent me attacking with my Mutavault, maybe? No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I think he should have attacked with both there, to be honest, to at least make me scared of something. Maybe encourage a block. But should be able to win here. Attack for 4. And we've got 5, 6. Oh, did he lose 2 extra life? Oh. I lost count somewhere, but anyway, he was dead there. And yeah, we managed to pick up the win. I'm not sure if he was always playing optimally. He possibly should have sacrificed this Voice to his pod if he could have done, to get a Finks or something to gain some extra life. I'm not sure if that would have saved him. I haven't actually done all the maths. But I think some of my opponent's plays were a little bit curious, but otherwise you do get to see how the deck plays against Pod and some of the options from the sideboard, etc. And we did manage to pick up the win, so it's always good, no matter how it goes. So yeah, good match.